Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is this Beetlejuice inspired nail set. Now I know Beetlejuice is not necessarily the most unique idea when it comes to nail sets for this time of year. Beetlejuice in general is like a very popular movie for this time of year, and especially now with the sequel coming out, or at this point has already come out. It's been very popular amongst the makeup community and the nail community, and just everyone's getting into the Beetlejuice spirits, and I wanted to join in and do some Beetlejuice inspired nails, but I did do a bit of a different take on it. There are certain aspects that are very typical of Beetlejuice, you know, the black and white stripes, the purple and the green color story, but something that I did that I thought was a little bit unique and a little bit unique to me was I added a bit of florals that you saw in the beginning, and I wanted to do that in honor of Barbara, one of the main characters in Beetlejuice. She is my favorite character from that movie. I love her. I think she is so cute and so fun, and she kind of reminds me of me a little bit in certain aspects, and I really just wanted to kind of like pay tribute, give her a little shout out, I guess, in my nail set, and kind of just bring her into the nail set a bit in honor of her being my favorite character and in honor of doing something a little bit different. So we're going to get into that a little bit later, but for now I am just mixing a couple of glitters together. I didn't have a purple and green glitter mix, so I just made one myself with these fine glitters, and I'm going to do a sugar nail here on this nail. So I just use a purple background, and before curing the gel, I pour the glitter onto it. So you can see that I kind of have to go back and forth a few times to cover up the whole nail because I kind of made the mix myself and I didn't know how much glitter I would actually need. So I just go back a few times and make sure I cover up the nail fully. And because the background of this nail, the gel that I did, was purple, the purple coloring is coming out a little bit more. If you had done it over a green background, the greens would be pulling a bit more. So now I'm going to be doing some transfer foil gel to do the floral foil that I am going to be using in honor of Barbara. And I'm going to place the foil gel down here on the nail, and then after I put it in the lamp, I'm going to let it sit off to the side and cool down while I do the rest of my nail art. So over here on this white nail, I'm going to create a black and white striped design, but I'm kind of going to make it a bit crooked. Now this idea I actually got from Miss Jo. She has a YouTube channel here on YouTube, and she is super inspiring. I love her designs. I think she is super creative. So this idea was inspired by her. Hers came out a little bit differently. I didn't do it exactly the same. Hers was pretty cool, but I just kind of took a little bit of inspiration, so I wanted to make sure to give her a shout out. And I'll actually have her channel linked down below because she is super creative and she is really, really great at nail art and hand painted nail art and all that stuff. So I'll link her channel down below in case you're interested. So what I am doing here on this nail is I kind of created, like you saw, a horizontal stripe across the nail. A bit uneven. It wasn't meant to be even. It was meant to be a little bit like crooked. And I'm going to fill in the black and white stripes, as is very Beetlejuice-esque. But I'm going to basically make them I don't know the word, like lopsided, crooked, like not even. So on the top line where I have black, under the line is going to be white. So it's kind of going to be like shifted, kind of like a checkerboard in a way. And that's kind of going to give this kind of like optical illusion kind of nail. And with, you know, in the Beetlejuice movie, lots of things are very like topsy-turvy, and things are kind of a little bit wonky and a little bit, what's the word, like, I'm like completely blanking on what I'm trying to say. Yeah, like kind of like optical illusion-y, like things kind of get a little bit wacky over there. So I thought this would kind of like fit the vibes. And I do go in and do 2 coats of the black on all of these nails, because you can see when I was using the black to fill in those stripes, it was coming out a little bit sheer because of the brush. The brush was just not holding on to a lot of the polish. It was kind of like dispersing it very thinly. So everything is going to have 2 layers. So I'm just going to do that off camera because it's kind of like repetitive and not particularly interesting. And then for this nail, I'm just going to do typical stripes. So started off with the white background because I felt like that was just the easiest. It was going to be a lot harder to do white over black. So I'm just going to fill in these lines here. And I kind of like mapped them out beforehand and then went straight in. I didn't cure the stripes that I did in between. I kind of just went in. I guess I was feeling very brave and bold and very confident that day. But definitely, like, if you feel like you're going to mess up, which at some certain points I did, and I was like, just cure it so you don't mess up. But I don't know, I was very confident in myself, and thankfully everything went okay and came out just fine. But definitely, if you feel like you're going to mess up or you don't want to even risk it, definitely do like a quick flash cure to make sure everything just stays in place. And then just going to fill in the rest of these lines here. And of course, you can make them as thin or as thick as you want or whatever. I kind of like eyeballed it and went with what came out the first time around. I didn't want to do it too many times, so I was happy with the first go, and I just left it like that. And there it is. And here are the two nails side by side after they've each had multiple, I think it was just 2 or 3 layers maybe. And now I'm going to wipe off the tacky layer, and I'm going to be doing a bit of foil on these nails as well. So on each of the nails, I'm going to be choosing one of the white stripes to put some of the floral foil that I'm going to be using onto the nails to kind of like have her, like, the florals kind of like peeking through. So on this nail, you can see because the white and the black are like crooked, I'm going to have like the foil also crooked. So you can see I'm just applying it to one of the white stripes, or I guess in this case 2 of them, because it's kind of like on an angle. And for this design over here, I didn't really want the florals to be too aggressive, and you can see I kind of like pulled out a floral that was reminiscent of Barbara's dress. That's how it relates to Barbara. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but throughout the movie she wears a pink and green floral dress, so that's how I'm kind of like including her in my nail set. So you can see like these florals are a lot more dispersed. The florals that she was wearing on her dress were a much tighter and smaller floral set, but I didn't really have something that was exactly like that. So what I'm going to be doing on this nail is after I do that first layer, you can see here, I actually go in with a second layer of foil gel, and then I do another layer of foil on top of it to kind of like fill in the gaps. But for these striped nails over here, I just wanted it peeking through a little bit. I didn't want it to be the complete center focus. I just wanted that one nail to really be like the standout. So over here, I'm not I'm not like being too particular about the placement or anything. I just kind of want it like peeking through the design a little bit. And then you can see I did get some on the black stripes because when I was applying the foil gel, it was a little hard to get into such a small area, especially because I was using such a large brush. So I just used a small cotton swab to clean it up. So here you can see all of those foils finished. And then on the final nail, this bright green, which is definitely reminiscent of Beetlejuice and his crazy hair, I'm going to be doing a spider web. I felt like it just kind of added to the spooky vibes of Beetlejuice, the spooky cute vibes, definitely. And I'm going to fill in, so I started with long stripes and then going to fill in with these smaller curved lines to create the spider web. And you can see here I actually had a bit of a difficult time figuring out the right brush to use for it, because I started off using like this really small brush, but somehow it was just, I guess, like the thickness of the brush, it was picking up a lot of product. And you can see as I was like creating the curved spider web design, it was like depositing a lot of product off at once. So I actually go back a few times. You'll see I'm just like experimenting with different brushes to find like the best thickness and the best technique, I guess. But I do use the small cotton swab here. You can see I just got these off of Amazon in like a massive pack, and they're really handy for such tiny detail stuff. And I kind of go back and forth between a bunch of different brushes. And also with this design, I didn't cure in between. I kind of just did it all in one go. I cured the long stripes that I did at first, but then all of these like small like swoopy stripes or curves that I'm doing in between, those I didn't cure. And I'm happy that I didn't in the end, because I decided to, as you can see, clean up a lot of it and redo what I had done. And had I flash cured it, I wouldn't have been able to clean it up. So I was just happy with that decision. And then I finally found this really thin brush. This one's actually from Clear Jelly Stamper, I think, and it worked for the most part. Creating a spider web, this was my first time doing it. It was a lot harder than I thought it would be. It always looks so simple, and the design and the concept is very easy, just like lines and curves. It shouldn't be too complicated, but I don't know, I was finding a bit difficult to like get the lines and the stripes even with each other. And of course you can, as I said before, I was struggling with like the thickness and the brushes and things. So it was definitely not as easy as I thought it was going to be, but I guess in the end it kind of like all came together. You can definitely tell what it's supposed to be, but I'm definitely gonna have to practice this on more designs in the future because I can definitely improve. And I'm just finishing up the lines and just fixing everything and making everything as close to perfect as I could. And then I pulled out this like bright luminous 3D gel that I had from Vettsy. I got this a long time ago in like a mystery box before I even started doing the subscriptions. It was like a totally different mystery box situation, and I never had a reason to use it until right now. And it was the perfect design, so I want like perfect for the design. So I wanted to add some like Beetlejuice like goop and on all the nails, and to kind of just create that 3D effect. And this was the perfect product for it, because at first I forgot that I even had this, and I was just going to do it with regular gel polish, but it would not have had that same 3D effect. And then as I was rummaging around through my collection of nail stuff, I found this and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the perfect color, the perfect concept, the perfect like idea for this nail. It was just the best product for what I wanted to do. This like large goopy sliminess was really a great addition to the set. So I'm really happy that I had this. I don't know about like what to use this for in the future. I guess like let me know if you have something like this with this like large like 3D goopy gel. What do you use it for aside for like creating large designs like I'm doing here, like large 3D designs? Like what else do you use it for if you have something similar? Because it was a lot of fun to use. I just don't know how to incorporate it in other designs that are not necessarily something like this. So after all of that, I matte top coated the designs, but I left the goopy slime. So let me know what you think of this design down below, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!